Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back. I am Van, and we are all the LFR family. If you're not already with the family, I'm going to need for you to hit that subscribe button right there, Jack. Go on, hit that thing. All right, I'm hanging out with my Patreon members. Shout out to you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. We're about to check out some groupie love, a little bit of groupie love. Not G Unit's song "Groupie Love," but we talking about top 10 rock and roll groupies, then and now. How they look back then when they was hot, and how they look right now when they are mature. Okay, they still hot. You know what I mean? They got memories, and they got beautiful babies and families that they created and all that other stuff. So we about to see what they look like, huh? Y'all let me know what y'all think. Don't forget to subscribe and follow all my social medias. And I'm on Twitch too. I'm trying to build up my Twitch stream. So follow Twitch too, please. Twitch is inside of the description. All right,
Nobody knows quite when the idea of a groupie first came to be. The term itself dates from the mid-1960s, but the idea of young women throwing themselves at their musical heroes dates back decades before that.
The reason we first started strumming guitars is because we wanted women.
Probably even further. One can almost...
Wasn't Gene the one with the real long tongue that sung for one of them bands? Like he had the real... I don't know if it was a fake tongue or real tongue, but I think Gene was the guy.
Imagine a young Austrian lass frantically waving her corset as Mozart breaks into his magic flute. Anyways, we don't think about corsets and operas when we think about groupies. We think about rock and roll. I'm Nostalgic Nick for Do You Remember, and today we'll be looking at some of the most important groupies in the history of rock and roll.
The word groupie came into being long after I was doing these things.
Be sure to hit that thumbs up button for us and subscribe to our channel so you never miss a memory. But
yeah, and thank you for that. Hold on, let me shout out this channel right here. Do You Remember? Shout out to Do You Remember channel. Go follow them and go check out their stuff. This is where we got this video. Thank you for allowing us to use it. I appreciate it. Okay, let's go. The most important groupie. I never thought I heard that sentence. Most important.
Now,
okay.
Let's get to the ladies who had rock stars wrapped around their fingers. B.B. Buell. B.B. Buell was 18 when she moved to New York, became a model, and was one of Playboy's Playmates of the Month. And then, as she says, the rock star came a hunting.
I think it went beyond infatuation. I think I was determined to know them and to be part of the persona and the aura.
Buell was romantically linked with rock and roll icons like Elvis Costello and even Mick Jagger, but she is most famous for being the mother of actress Liv Tyler. But she wasn't always Liv Tyler. When she was born, Buell told the world that long-term boyfriend Todd Rundgren was the father. It didn't come out for an astounding 9 years.
Hold on, Liv Tyler. Wasn't Liv Tyler in that video? I don't want to close my eyes. I don't want to fall asleep 'cause I miss you, baby. And I don't want to miss a thing 'cause even when I dream of you. I think that's the song.
That Liv was the result of a fiery affair with legendary Aerosmith frontman Steven Tyler, and that she had lied to protect her daughter from Tyler's rampant drug abuse. Eventually, Buell became tired of the groupie life and attempted to make it in the music world on her own merit. From 1981 on, she released a series of albums, most recently 2011's Hard Love. Although not very commercially successful, Buell remains one of the only people to experience both sides of the groupie coin, and her daughter Liv has had quite the acting career herself.
I don't think it's really rocket science. I think either you're part of it or you're not.
Sable Star. Leader of a group dubbed the Baby Groupies, Sable Star was perhaps the queen of all the groupies in the 1970s. Star became entangled in the rock and roll lifestyle at an extraordinarily young age. Iggy Pop later sang, "I slept with Sable when she was 13. Her parents were too rich to do anything." By the time she was 16...
What? $13? Nah, man, that's too young. Come on. Nah, man. I got a 16-year-old daughter, bro. That's too... Come on. Nah.
Still very underage, I might add. Star gave an interview stating that at various points she had been involved with Mick Jagger, David Bowie,
Sheesh.
Alice Cooper, and Robert Plant. Quite the who's who.
I don't know who Alex Cooper is, but I know who Robert Plant is, David Bowie, and I forgot the first name, but those are some huge names. She has some reach. I say she was the queen too. My grace, she must have been a fox. My goodness. Sheesh.
Of 70s rock. Sable soon became bored with LA, moved to New York, and became enmeshed in the burgeoning punk scene there, becoming involved with Johnny Thunders and Richard Hell. Sadly, Sable Star faded later in life. By the 1980s, she had dropped out of the groupie lifestyle, moved to Lake Tahoe, and became a table game dealer before eventually succumbing to brain cancer in 2009. Ooh. But when fellow super groupie BB Buell states that you were the groupie who, quote, every rock star in LA wanted to meet, you must have flown pretty close to the sun. Anita Pallenberg. Some groupies became famous for making their way through every rock star they could get their hands on. Anita Pallenberg, however, is famous for attracting the attention of one band in particular, the Rolling Stones. In 1965, Pallenberg was a young actress when she became romantic.
That's what I'm talking about. She got the goats. Everybody else getting them other bands. She got the goats. All of them. She made sweet love to all of them. No, she didn't.
Involved with Rolling Stones guitarist Brian Jones. A 2-year love affair followed, until on a trip to Morocco, Keith Richards witnessed Jones assaulting her. The Stones' other guitarist rescued Pallenberg, whisked her back to England, and began a 13-month relationship with the beautiful blonde. Because, of course, who could resist Keith Richards? However, their romance was not perfect by any means. Pallenberg allegedly slept with Mick Jagger, thereby completing the holy trinity of Rolling Stones. And in 1979, a 17-year-old who Pallenberg was having an affair with was shot dead in an apparent suicide while in bed with her. After her relationship with the various Stones ended, Pallenberg continued to act, appearing in made-for-TV movies until after a lifetime of drug abuse, she died of hepatitis C in 2009.
I wasn't aware of anything. It was just casual.
Penny Trumbull.
Let me tell you something. That's a hell of a way to go. But they live their life. They live their life. I'm not a person. I'm never going to point fingers and judge people, man. I would have before, but not nearly as much as, well, yeah, I'll still judge people because I'm still saying 13. Bruh, you don't make love to no daggone 13-year-old. Come on now. So yeah, I do point fingers, but sometimes I'm not, okay, you understand what I'm saying. Yeah,
possibly the most famous depiction of a groupie in pop culture is Penny Lane from Cameron Crowe's seminal movie Almost Famous. Her glowing blonde ringlets, massive blue eyes, and chic glam rock style have become synonymous with groupie in modern society. But what if I told you that Penny was almost completely based on a real person? Penny Trumbull moved to LA at 18 and soon fell in love with the rock and roll lifestyle. With 4 other groupies, she formed the Flying Garter Girls, a group that toured the US, immersing themselves in the lives of their favorite bands. It was during this time that Trumbull met Crowe, and he later decided to depict her as the epitome of a groupie, who was not in it for personal gain, but rather for the love of the music. But after 4 years of jet-setting around the country, the Flying Garter Girls were burned out and retired from the groupie lifestyle. Trumbull went on to become a competitive fencer, owns a rock and roll ranch, and even had her own vintage of wine called Swallows, because, as she puts it, with more than a little tongue-in-cheek, quote, with wine, you either spit or swallow.
I like her. She's worthy of a slow clap. I like her. Business-minded. Took it right over. This right here shows me the power, well, it just confirms what I already knew, the power of a woman. The power of a woman, man. Whew. A woman. People don't know until they know. Women have power. Power.
Cynthia Plastercaster. How does a young woman obsessed with rock stars separate herself from the pack of other groupies vying for attention? By making plaster molds of the rock stars' penises, of course. Cynthia Albritton was a young art student when she hit upon the ingenious idea that would make her famous. And amazingly, one of the biggest rock stars in the world agreed to be her first subject. Jimi Hendrix.
What?
After capturing the likeness of Hendrix's heat-seeking missile in 1968, Cynthia went on to cast musicians from The Kinks, Journey, and The Lovin' Spoonful.
Wait a minute. She has a mold of Jimi Hendrix's penis from February 25th, 1968. That's smart. That is brilliant. That's art right there. That's like you walk through somebody's house and you see a whole bunch of phalluses hanging up and they're just up on the shelves and whatnot. They're inside of metal casings. That's genius.
Among others, all told, she has over 100 molds of famous rock stars, which begs the question, what does she do with them all? Cynthia's unique talent inspired the songs Plastercaster by Kiss,
Okay, what happened?
and 5 Short Minutes by Jim Croce. And in 2001, a documentary was made about her exploits in the field of member molding. While perhaps not a groupie in the traditional sense, Cynthia has certainly encountered as many rock and roll rods as anyone on this list.
As long as there are talented musicians with appendages, I'll be available for my casting call.
Sweet Connie Hamsy. Just because you don't live in the glitz and glamour of LA or New York doesn't mean that being a groupie is out of your reach. Just ask Sweet Connie Hamsy, who claims to have provided an, oral helping hand to every famous rock star that passed through Little Rock, Arkansas in the 70s and 80s.
Whoa.
Her exploits were even documented in the Grand Funk Railroad song, We're an American Band, where, quote, last night in Little Rock put me in a haze. Sweet Connie doing her act, she had the whole show, and that's a fact. Then in 1984, Connie tried to land the biggest fish of
Hold on. Are they saying that she gave head to all of the artists that came through Little Rock, Arkansas? Wow. Wow. She should have probably come up with the penis molding business, because if she's seeing everybody's penises while doing those things, she should probably make a little bit of money off of it, in my opinion.
and approached then Governor Bill Clinton, dropped her bikini top, and asked, what do you think of these? I'm sure Bill didn't mind. Connie has written several tell-all
Of course Bill
books
didn't
detailing her escapades.
Y'all already know old nasty Bill didn't mind. He ain't mind at all. He was like, okay, let me see those again, darling. Okay, that was
Clinton
nice.
dropped her bikini top and asked, what do you think of these? I'm sure Bill didn't mind. Connie has written several tell-all books detailing her escapades, and unlike the rest of her groupie peers, she has kept the party rolling. In the early 2000s, she could still be found backstage at shows in Arkansas plying her trade, even though she was well into her 50s. Damn, Connie.
Whoa. 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 Maybe those guys told her, look, I never would have performed that well on stage had it not been for our meeting before going out there. So I need you. We got a show in Cleveland next week. Will you be there?
Rolling. In the early 2000s, she could still be found backstage at shows in Arkansas plying her trade, even though she was well into her 50s. Damn, Connie. Pamela Davar. Let's say you want to meet as many rock stars as possible, but don't want to rely on the hit or miss method of hanging around clubs and concerts. What should you do? Become rock star Frank Zappa's
Shorty gorgeous. I'm tell you that right now. She's beautiful.
Meet as many rock stars as possible, but don't want to rely on the hit or miss method of hanging around clubs and...
She's beautiful. She's beautiful. What do y'all think about this one right here? I think she's very naturally beautiful. Yeah.
Concerts. What should you do? Become rock star Frank Zappa's nanny, of course. In the 60s and 70s, Pamela Davar used this position to meet an exhaustive list of rock gods. She reportedly slept with Keith Moon, Jimmy Page, Graham
Jimmy Page.
Parsons, Mick Jagger, Jim Morrison, and Waylon Jennings, among others. Wow. She even was a member of Zappa's all-female groupie musical act, the GTOs, which, unsurprisingly, did not succeed. After a failed acting career, Davar wrote 2 memoirs about her experiences as a groupie, I'm With the Band and Take Another Little Piece of My Heart, which actress Kate Hudson read to prepare for her iconic role of Penny Lane in the movie Almost Famous. Davar still trades on her notoriety as one of the most famous groupies of all time, even starting her own fashion line called Groupie Couture in 2013. Well, there you have them, some of the most infamous groupies the world of rock has ever known. Who did we miss? What band would you most like to be a groupie of? And just for fun, what was the best rock concert you ever went to? Let us know in the comments below. We read everyone. And if you...
That was dope. That was dope. That was dope, man. That was pretty daggone cool and insightful. And yeah, get it how you live. However you can, do your thing, huh? Whew. I don't know, man. Y'all, that was something. That was something, man. Make sure y'all leave comments. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Who was y'all most beautiful or favorite groupie? And I would like to know that in the comments. I'll come back and I'll read them as well, just like my man said in his video, because I plan on doing that as